Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm excited to be here with Cade Bryant to share a little bit more about his background. Cade, can you tell our members a little bit about yourself?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I'm a software engineer. I have about 20 years experience as working professionally as a software developer. I have a master's in computer science. I have also some training in computational linguistics and natural language processing. I also have a degree in music, and I play several musical instruments and I've composed several songs as well. And this group really excited me because it hits on three things that interested me the most. Music, which I'm very much into, medicine. I want to use my programming skills to benefit the healthcare community, and machines. I am being a computer scientist with some background in machine learning.
Yes, I was totally excited about your background. Tell our members a little bit more about what instruments you actually play.
Okay, so I play the piano and the electronic keyboards. I play guitar. Um,
Wow.
I can, I play cello, but I'm not super great at it. I used to play saxophone when I was in high
Oh my
school,
gosh.
but I would say the keyboards and the guitar are my main instruments, and I love to compose. I love.
Wow, that's a huge variety. So are you using any particular software in your composition techniques or
Um, actually, yeah,
productions?
I do. I use a program called Digital Performer. It's
Okay.
a it's you've heard of like Sonar or Cakewalk or Cubase. It's a competitor to or Logic. It's a competitor to those, but it really makes it easy to you can hook a keyboard up to it and you can just select virtual instruments and you can just play and just lay down tracks on top of tracks on top of
Wow.
tracks and produce your own arrangements. In fact, I've actually included some links for you of stuff that I've done.
Okay, we'd love to share those with the
Absolutely, feel
members.
free to.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
bet, given your software dev background, you've done some really cool things. So can you write full songs and compose as well?
I can.
Oh, wow. So do you sing as well as
Oh, I
do
would not.
the?
I'm not a great singer. I would not. In the shower, maybe, but I would not
Okay.
torture somebody and listen to me sing.
Well, we definitely want to invite you during one of our formal meetups to do one of your songs, if that's okay. We'd love to
Oh,
do that.
okay, okay, I
And
can do that.
since you play so many instruments, can you like lay different tracks then and
Yes.
have a whole like orchestra? Oh, that's
I can.
so
I
awesome. I
can.
can't wait to hear it.
Oh,
That'd be so cool. On the, switching more to your machine side, what are some of the cool things that you're working on from a software development standpoint?
okay. So I've worked on many things in the past. Like for my, I think what kind of got me into the machine learning and data science aspects of software engineering was my graduate project that I did for my master's degree. I actually wrote an application that utilized sentiment analysis to analyze Amazon product reviews. I also I have a friend out in California as well too who has a kind of a healthcare related company for 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 dealing with for helping out seniors, and I kind of helped her with
Neat.
some of the initial technology behind that. Where I currently work right now, I work for Con Ed, the utility, and we're developing apps that the field workers can use to record conditions for when they have to do electrical repairs and
Mhm.
services, intelligent tools that allow them to analyze the situation that's going on and then save that into a database and generate reports off of it so that and it's actually saved the company money that we've actually seen improvements in service time and cost from my use of that. And just as a
Gotcha.
hobbyist, I mean, I love when I come home at night. I spend a lot of time learning new things. Like I'm taking taking some advanced algorithm courses from a Stanford professor online. So
Okay, neat.
computing and yeah, computing and
So you're
software.
always perfecting your craft. That's
Absolutely,
awesome.
lifelong learner. Mhm.
Obviously, when you've also learned so many different instruments too.
Mhm.
So like rounding it out to the medicine side of you, what are, tell us a little bit about your interests there and what you're trying to do in
Okay.
healthcare and medicine.
Well, I've always thought that healthcare and medicine could be improved via technology. I remember when I first studied DNA. I noticed that DNA had a structure that was very much like a programming language, and that
Is.
programmatically you could actually sequence it and find patterns using computers. You could find patterns in the genomic sequence of any
Yeah.
individual that can give you, it got me thinking, well, how can this be used in a good way to predict diseases? I also got into neuroscience at one point. I took a computational neuroscience class from the University of Washington. And I thought, wow, this is really cool. If there's a way to computationally mimic in computation in silicon to mimic the way the human brain thinks, that can be helpful for people who have cognitive decline issues.
Yeah,
So, and
absolutely. I'm actually fortunate to be supporting for the company I work for, um, supporting the area of mental health for some of the
mhm,
clients I work for, leveraging machine learning to improve, look
awesome.
for new ways to detect and prevent mental health issues. So I agree with you there that there are some incredible opportunities.
There
Um,
are,
we,
and
we, given where we are in this day and age, we can't avoid talking about COVID a tiny bit. And since you, lived in New York, tell me what kind of innovations you see, given your eclectic background, opportunities for innovation around COVID.
well, one of the things I notice about the way that the disease spreads, and this is true of many diseases, not just COVID, is that it can be modeled via graph theory. Um, with where every individual, infected or otherwise, is a vertex in the graph, and every connection with other people, social connections, people we run across, could be modeled as edges, and these edges between the vertices could be labeled as weights, which could then represent things like the transmittability, the risk of infection,
Mhm.
um, and there's potential there for doing modeling to predict based on a subset of vertices in the graph and the weights, I guess the known weights of the edges connecting them. We could perhaps use
Yeah.
that to extrapolate, well, what could possibly happen in the future if this subset is statistically relevant. We could maybe predict how likely it is that that the growth rate could go up or down, and also we could model the potential impact of certain interventions on that
Yes.
as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you been playing around with any of the data sets that have been open sourced and such?
I've gone and looked at some of them, and I've looked at, I've decided to take a deep dive and bring up to date my algorithmic skills as well too.
That's
Getting back
great.
into things like Dijkstra's algorithm and all
Mhm.
these pretty much these graph search algorithms, and with the hope of being able to see something or learn something from that.
Mhm. What kind of advice would you give since we have members in all stages of learning?
Mhm.
If they wanted to explore the kind of things that you're looking at, where do you think that they should start?
I think, well, first of all, I think it would be great if you don't know how to program, by you I don't mean you personally, Donna, but I mean someone
You could be
interested.
close.
Yeah, someone interested. Someone interested in the field, I think it would be great to learn a programming language like Python and get
Okay,
familiar
you
with
like
some
Python.
yes, and then get familiar with some of the even though C# is my main language, the good thing about Python is there are so many tools available for data science and machine learning for people who want to explore data. Become familiar with a package like NumPy or Pandas that allows you to access data in data sets, and then some of the other tools like PyTorch or TensorFlow that'll allow you then to do some statistical analysis of the data. I mean, that's for someone who wants to get involved. For someone who wants to get involved in the tech side of things, that's something I would recommend.
Yeah. Have you
Also,
taken any online courses that you would point people out to?
yeah, actually, there's a site called DataCamp. I think it's
Oh, okay.
datacamp.com or datacamp.org. They actually have they actually have a lot of free courses there in learning Python and also in data science. And I think for a very small monthly fee, you get access to all of their courses. So it can kind of take you from square one, from being a beginning Python programmer up as far as you want to go. It has hands-on exercises. They have sample data sets that you can experiment with, and you can use that as a way to build your data science skills so that you can apply it to something like this.
That's cool.
I think the next
Now,
big thing,
go ahead. Sorry, Kate. Go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say then I think the next big thing, if we can get it adopted here in the States, is contact tracing via phones. A lot of people are,
Mm,
unfortunately, in America, a
yes.
lot of people are very scared of privacy. But I think if you
Yeah.
can, once that becomes more accepted and that's another set of data that will be generated that you can then programmatically draw inferences on.
Yes. I cover a company that's doing that in the Trello board I've been curating
Uh,
for COVID innovation, which will hopefully showcase at our first meetup. Um,
nice.
Tell me, just to close things out, because you're so fascinating. I'm sure
Oh,
there are
thank
so
you.
many cool topics you could talk about.
Oh,
on the if on the music and machine combo, have you done anything there?
um, a lot of experiments that I've done. Some stuff has just like it has been incredibly nerdy. Like I actually downloaded a set of like MIDI because I love classical music, and I was able to find actual MIDI files of some of my favorite classical pieces by Mahler and Tchaikovsky.
Oh, wow.
So I actually wrote some program to then download that data like into a text file and then run code against it to do an analysis on the music itself. Like for instance, I thought because when it comes to the classical instruments, cello is something I know how to play, and I'm thinking, okay, what is the average note that a cellist plays in a typical romantic era composition by Mahler? And I was able to do that, and I found, oh, it's F sharp, the F sharp,
Yeah.
and specifically F sharp 3. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's kind of nerdy and kind of useless, but you could do other things with that as well too. You could, besides just looking at basic statistics like that. And I thought it was neat how I was able to kind of pull the two of those together, the field of programming and the field of music, to do
Hmm.
statistical analyses on classical music pieces.
That's neat. That is so awesome. Well, like I said, I'm hoping we can invite you to perform at
Oh,
one of our meetups so that everyone can hear one of your original pieces. But thank you so much, Cade, for giving us some time. And
oh,
I
thank
look
you so much,
forward
Donna.
to, I absolutely look forward to finally meeting you in person, hopefully when
Yeah,
this ends,
when it
and for the
becomes,
rest of
yeah.
our meetup members to get a chance to know you.
Oh, I look forward to that as well too, Donna.
Okay,
Um,
have a good
thank you,
one.
thank you, you too. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this interview with me.
Oh, Thank you. All right. Take care, Cade.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye.